my life kind of stopped, and now my life is starting again. So everything's picking back up. So I'm dealing with that, and yes, but you guys are still in my head and my heart. So please do not think I forgot about you, and I will not stop uploading until I die. Okay? Okay, let's get into this. I got this book because when I was in like elementary school, I'm sure you guys have read that one. It's like it's kind of like this, but it's like with those really cool, creepy illustrations. There was like a bunch of them. It was like, I think it was scary stories to tell in the dark or something like that. I love those books so much. But yeah, it's just it's by R.L. Stein. I got it like Goodwill or something like that. Goodwill has great books, guys. If you want to get books, like cheap books, go to Goodwill. I mean, they're obviously not going to be brand new or anything like that, but a book is a book. You know, you don't need a brand new book to read it. Give me 1 second, guys. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, guys. Like my dryer makes a loud ass noise when it gets done. My mom, she has like a call job, so gotta turn this shit off. Of course, because I do it over and over and over again. Go, I'm sure you guys heard it. It's pretty fucking loud. But okay. Let me actually look at how long these stories are. Okay, so let me look. Pumpkinhead. Oh. Okay, they're not very long. Cool. Sorry if my voice was a little loud there, guys. Alright, let's get into this. I'm gonna adjust my seat a little bit so I can make this better for the sounds. Sorry, I'm just doing some experimentation, you know what I'm saying? I gotta find the best place so you can hear the page sounds. Make sure you guys can still actually hear my voice too. It's kind of fucked. Sorry guys, I haven't done this before. Okay. It says, for Suzanne Lurie, working with you has become a nightmare come true. That's kind of funny. And we have Pumpkinhead, which is going to be 18 pages long. Alien Candy, which is 10 pages long. The Most Evil Sorcerer, 20 pages. I'm Not Martin, 16 pages. The Black Mask, 12 pages. Afraid of Clowns, 22 pages. The Dead Body, 12 pages. Make Me a Witch, 10 pages. The Ghostly Stare, 14 pages. Alright, y'all. Nightmare Hour, y'all. Alright, here's the illustration. It's pretty lit. Look at it. Hope you guys can see that, because that's kind of all you're gonna get. Okay, Pumpkinhead. Introduction. The pumpkin farm stretched before me under a gray afternoon sky. I planned to pick out a big round pumpkin for a Halloween jack-o'-lantern, but it had been a warm autumn, and as I made my way through the row of pumpkins, I realized I'd come too late. Most of the pumpkins were soft and rotting with dark purple spots spreading over their sides and swarms of insects crawling over the decaying rinds. The sun went down as I continued my search. The air grew cold. field that came alive. So I think maybe that was like I think he writes the inspiration for each of the stories before the story, but I'm not sure about that. Okay, so here's the actual story. Halloween is ruined, Mike declared. It's no fun trick-or-treating while it's still light out. Why do we have to be home by 8 o'clock? Mom rolled her eyes. Get in the car, she told him, and stop complaining. You know why there's a curfew this year. Because parents are stupid, Mike grumbled. Because those kids disappeared last Halloween, I said, and the Halloween before. Mike shrugged. What's that got to do with us? Come on, Mike, I said. Get in the car. Listen, I want to get going, but I don't want to pick pumpkins. It's boring. Mike crossed his skinny arms over his chest and made his pouty face. Why do we have to go? Because we do it every year, Mom replied patiently. She's used to Mike's tantrums. We all are. Let's skip it and pretend we went, Mike said. He's a real wise guy. Mike is a 10. Oh, no, what the fuck? Holy shit, Mike is 10. 2 years younger than me, and he's angry all the time. Mom says they can't help it because he's a redhead. Redheads have tempers, she says. That's kind of funny because it's true. I don't know what redhead has to do with it. Mike is always growling and complaining and shaking his fist and looking for trouble. He got into a fight at school last week and had 2 of his teeth knocked out. Luckily, they were already loose. He looked like a jack-o'-lantern with those 2 teeth out. But when I made a joke about it, he punched me really hard in the stomach. I almost puked out my whole dinner. Come on, Mike, let's go, I said. Gave him a playful bump from behind to get him moving. He spun around and swung a fist at me. Watch it, Andrew. Hey, I laughed. It was an accident. Your face is an accident, Mike snapped. Come on, Mike. My friend Liz chimed in. I've never picked pumpkins before. You can help me find a good one. Mike likes Liz. He's usually on pretty good behavior when she's around. Still pouting, he climbed into the front seat of the car. Liz and I rolled our eyes, relieved that we were finally on our way. We climbed into the back seat and buckled our seatbelts. Liz is 12 like me, and she lives across the street, but her parents both work till late every day, so Liz spends a lot of time at our house. We both gazed out the window, watching the trees whir past. Autumn leaves fell around like red and yellow rain. Soon the trees ended and we soon passed the farms and fields plowed over for winter. Well, are you going to help me pick a pumpkin, Mike? Liz asked. Yeah, just don't let Andrew help you, Mike replied. Andrew's pumpkins always are rotten inside, just like him. Whatever, I said. I know you're just looking for a fight, but I really hate arguing with him all the time. Why does he have to be so wired? Or why does he always have to be so wired? I peered out the window and saw an orange pumpkin shaped sign on the side of the road. It said, Palmer's Pumpkin Farm, 1 mile. I pictured Mr. Palmer, the owner of the pumpkin farm. What a scary guy. He reminded me of one of his scarecrows, tall and skinny, wearing overalls that were way too big for him. He always walked so stiffly, patrolling his field, staring at everyone with frightening, blank eyes that looked so deep, or that looked like deep, dark holes in his face. Here we are, Mom said brightly. She turned into the long gravel driveway and followed it to the parking lot. 4 or 5 cars were parked near the ragged wooden fence. I climbed out of the car and stretched my arms over my head. It was a sunny day, cold for October. I could see my breath steam in front of me. The farm air smelled fresh and sweet. A young woman in an orange parka and orange wool ski cap greeted us at the gate. The pumpkins on the first hill are a little too ripe, she told us, and the ones near the skate have already been picked over. Try the next field. We thanked her and started through the gate. Oh, one more thing, she called after us. She pointed to the left. See that tall green wooden fence over there? Mr. Palmer doesn't want anyone near that fence, okay? Why not? Mike asked. What's over there? Typical Mike. That's Mr. Palmer's private pumpkin patch, the young woman answered. We made our way through the gate. The pumpkin field stretched on forever, uphill, then down as far as I could see. Slender green vines unfurled like long snakes over the dirt. At the end of the vines sat pumpkins, all different sizes, hundreds and hundreds of them, like orange balloons, tethered to the ground. Y'all, I'm stand up for a second, y'all. Give me a moment. sizes, hundreds and hundreds of them like orange balloons tethered to the ground. Scarecrows on tall poles, tilted over the pumpkins. They were just old coats stuffed with straw, but from a distance they looked like a tired old man leaning against the wind. Hey, Andrew, Mike whispered, trying to keep up with Liz and me. Let's check out Palmer's private patch. I bet he keeps the best pumpkins in there. No way, I said, trying not to get us in trouble today, okay? Wimp, Mike muttered. I ignored him. I really didn't want to fight. My sneakers scraped over the hard dirt as I led the way to the rows of pumpkins. Peering into the glare of the afternoon sunlight, I saw two kids at the top of the first hill. They came staggering down, struggling to carry an enormous pumpkin between them. Mike laughed. Look at those geeks, they'll never make it. He bent and scooped up a softball-sized pumpkin from the dirt. Think fast, Andrew, and he tossed it at me. Startled, I raised my hands too late. The pumpkin sailed over my shoulder and landed on the ground with a splat. Ooh, a ripe one, Mike shouted, laughing. He ducked as I heaved one at his head. He laughed again. Missed me, Andrew. You feel like a girl. Watch it, Mike, Liz warned playfully. I'll show you how a girl throws. She bit and grabbed a half-rotted pumpkin and tossed at him. Hey, whoa, stop it. Mom cried. Mr. Palmer is watching you. Mr. Palmer stepped out from behind the scarecrow. He walked toward us with a scowl. His face, despite the cold, he had no coat. He wore baggy denim overalls over an orange flannel shirt beneath an orange baseball cap turned sideways on his head. His greasy gray hair fell to his shoulders. He had the weirdest beard I'd ever seen. It was orange and stringy and hung from his cheeks in patches. It looked like the yucky stuff you find when you cut open a pumpkin. He shook his head at us, those dark, empty eyes glaring so coldly. Liz dropped the pumpkin she was about to toss. Mom shivered. These pumpkins are all picked over. Run up the hill and see if you can find some better ones. I'll catch up to you. We took off, making our way up through the rows of pumpkins. As we reached the top of the hill, the wind gusted, blowing Liz's blonde hair into her face. A cloud rolled over the sun, sending a shadow sweeping over the pumpkin field like a dark ocean wave. Hey, now what is Mike doing? I cried out, pointing to him. I saw him halfway down the hill, in the shadow of the tall green fence, tugging at the latch of the gate. Mike, get away from there, I yelled. He ignored me and tugged harder at the latch. Liz and I ran down the hill. We tried to pull Mike away, but he wouldn't let go of the latch. Move away, a voice boomed from behind us. With a startled gasp, I spun around to see Mr. Palmer. Standing over us, his hands at his waist, staring at us with those eerie scarecrow eyes. Mike dropped the latch and stumbled back. That's my private collection, Mr. Palmer said in a voice that seemed to come from deep in his chest. My babies, my special babies. I don't think you want to see them. Sorry, Mike said quietly. I've never heard Mike apologize to anyone about anything, but even my tough little brother withered under Mr. Palmer's icy stare. Mr. Palmer scratched his stringy orange beard, then to my surprise, he reached out his big paw of a hand. He spread his fingers over the top of Mike's head and squeezed. Not quite right, Mr. Palmer said, but it's getting there. Well, is that supposed to be a joke? Was he trying to be funny? Liz and I let out a nervous laugh, but Mr. Palmer's expression remained cold and serious. He motioned to the fence. Those are my experiments, he said. My babies. Stay away from my babies. Come on, Mike, I stammered. I saw a good pumpkin over there. I pointed across the field, then grabbed Mike's arm and tucked him away. What's his problem? Mike muttered angrily. He glanced over his shoulder, but Mr. Palmer had disappeared. Maybe I'll come back and just smash his babies. Calm down, I said. Just forget about it. Mike is right, Liz said. Palmer is a creep. He had no right to squeeze Mike's head like that. Mike asked for it, I said. I hate it when Liz takes Mike's side. Mike stared back at the tall fence. What could be so special about those pumpkins? Why won't he even let us see them? Who cares? I snapped. Let's just choose some good ones and get out of here. Mike kicked the pumpkin. It bounced once and then rolled down the hill. He laughed and kicked another one. Stop it, I yelled. You'll get us in even more trouble. Who cares? Mike shouted. He took off kicking pumpkins as he ran. Stop! I chased after him. Stop! I chased after him and slipped on something soft and toppled over backwards. Oh, I groaned, plopping down on a soft rotting pumpkin. Is that how aroma rose up around me? Climbed to my feet. The soft pumpkin clung to the back of my jeans and my coat. I twisted around to see that pulpy orange gunk stuck to me. Oh, sick, Liz said, laughing. Mike tossed back his head and laughed too. That's when I lost it with a roar. I ripped the rotting pumpkin off the ground. I heaved it on Mike's chest. The soft rind split thick orange pumpkin meat seeds and stringy orange stuff ran down the front of his leather jacket. My turn to laugh, but I didn't get a chance. What are you doing? I heard Mr. Palmer. Mr. Palmer's angry crying. He ran stiffly down the hill, his powerful arms raised above him like wings. What are you doing? He screamed. These are living things, I said. I said. Out, Mr. Palmer bellowed. He motioned wildly toward the parking lot. You are out of here. Come on, get out. What's going on? What's happened? Mom came running down the hill, stepping around pumpkins, her face twisted in confusion. Take them away from here, Mr. Palmer ordered her. I won't charge you for the damage, just take them away. Mike is right. Halloween in this town is so boring, Liz said. She shoved her trick-or-treating bag aside. Look at the clock. It's only 8:30 and we finished. Just so you guys know, it's like a different part of the story now. I had the candy I collected spread out on the living room floor. I counted the empty wrappers I'd already eaten. 4 chocolate bars, just one more, I said, and then I'm going to hide the stuff away. Where's Mike? Liz asked, glancing around. He went upstairs to take off his costume. This year Mike had dressed as a space alien with a silvery suit and a glowing green head. Liz and I had decided we were too old for costumes, so we just put on wool ski masks over our heads and put our coats on backwards. Dumb, but we had collected a lot of candy. I was just trying to decide which candy bar to eat next when Mike appeared. He had his leather bomber jacket on. He was jamming stuff into a white plastic bag. What are you doing? I asked. I'm going out, he said. No, you're not. I told him to take your coat off. You know there's a curfew. Bye, he said. He zipped up his jacket and started to the door. I hurried after him, grabbed the jacket, grabbed his jacket, collar. What's the big idea? Let go of me, Andrew. It's Halloween night and I want to have some fun. I want to do something creepy. Like what? Liz asked, crossing the room to us. I'm going back to the pumpkin farm, he replied. Liz laughed. Are you nuts? It's Halloween night. Mike said kids are supposed to play tricks on Halloween. The pumpkin farmer asked for it, so I'm going back there and have some fun. It doesn't make sense. That wasn't me, guys. That's how it says. Liz frowned at him. It's miles away. How do you think you're getting there? Bus, Mike replied. He pushed open their front door, and a blast of cold air rushed in the room. Wait, I yelled. What are you going to do there? I told you, he said impatiently. Have some fun. You're going to take a bus all the way to the farm by yourself. Mike nodded. We can't let him, Liz said. She pulled her down vest from the coat closet. What the fuck is a down vest? I'll have to go with him. A smile spread over her face. It's a cool idea. That pumpkin farmer had no right to squeeze Mike's head. We should pay. Excuse me, I cried. Andrew, it's Halloween night, Liz said. It's so boring. Just sitting here and stuffing ourselves with chocolate. Why shouldn't we have some creepy fun? I stared at her, but, hurry, she insisted. We have to get back before your mom comes home. And that's how we ended up at the pumpkin farm that night. I know it was stupid. I know it was crazy. But how do you stop Mike when he has his mind set on something? There's no way. And Liz was no help. She was just desperate for some excitement. As we made our way across the gravel parking lot, I zipped up my parka and slid the hood over my head. It was a cold, clear night. A pale half moon floated high in the purple sky. Peering over the fence, I could see scarecrows over the hill, trembling in a strong breeze. I shivered. I can't believe we're doing this. Mike and Liz didn't hear me. They were already climbing the front fence, sneaking into the farm. A few seconds later, we stood side by side, catching our breath, gazing at the hills of pumpkins that stretched before us. The wind whispered through the vines, making them quiver and bend. The scarecrows squeaked and shaking their arms as if they were waving us away. A large pumpkin came bouncing down the hill. Thud, thud, thud. It's alive, I cried, making a joke. But Liz and Mike didn't laugh. It's creepy here at night, Liz murmured, shivering. The wind blew my hood back onto my shoulders. A creaking sound made me jump. It was just a scarecrow tilting on its pole. It's so silvery and strange at night, Liz whispered. Keeping close to me, like walking on the moon, Mike pulled something out of the plastic bag he had brought. What's that? I asked. He held up a can. Spray paint, black spray paint. Oh no, what are you gonna do with that? I asked him. A grin spread over his face. Have fun, Mike, wait. He bent down over a large pumpkin and sprayed a smile across the front of it. And then he ran along the road, pumpkins spraying black X's all over them. said, handing the can back to him. Come on, Andrew, Liz. It's just Halloween, don't be such a wimp. She leaned down and sprayed a big black heart on the pumpkin. Mike sprayed his Innissos MG on a bunch of pumpkins. Giggling as he worked, Mr. Palmer would never sell these. Liz moved quickly down the row, spraying hearts. I painted I was here on a few really big pumpkins. I stopped when I heard Liz scream. She fell and hit the ground hard. The paint can bounced out of her hand. I ran over to her, tripped on a stupid vine. She groaned, ow, my ankle. As I helped her up, I gazed over my shoulder and let out a startled cry. He's here, Mr. Palmer. My heart pounded as I spun around in a startled fright. No, not Mr. Palmer, a scarecrow. Say a tall scarecrow. An orange cat resting on its straw head. I think I've had enough fun. It's too creepy here, Liz said, rubbing her ankle. Let's go home. Hey, Mick, I called. Let's get out of here. Mike, where was he? I turned and gasped. He was climbing over the green fence. No, Liz screamed. Mike, no. Mike, I cried. He dropped up to the other side to Mr. Palmer's private pumpkin collection. A cheer of fear trickled down my back. Mike is going too far. I thought Mr. Palmer keeps those pumpkins locked up for a reason. He called them his babies. My heart pounding, I took off running to the fence. I followed Liz. Alright. I took off running to the fence. Liz followed, lipping on her twisted ankle. Mike, hey. Mike. I called, come out of there now. No answer. Then I heard a shrill scream. Help me. Oh, help. I forced myself to run faster. I heard another scream. Oh. The scream cut off quickly. I reached the fence. It was a few feet taller than me. I jumped and grabbed onto the top. Pulled myself up. As I pulled myself up, I saw long, slivery vines moving, standing up like snakes, reaching up, wriggling and twisting off the ground. No way, that's crazy, I told myself. Using all my strength, I hoisted myself up and over the other side. I landed hard on both feet and gazed around quickly. Mike, Andrew, what's going on? Liz carefully lowered herself over the fence. Mike, I called again. Then I saw him standing at the end of the first row. I recognized his bomber jacket and his jeans torn open at one knee. His sneakers, but on his shoulders. A round orange pumpkin rested on his shoulders. Mike, how did you get that pumpkin over your head? I ran to him, shouting breathlessly, take that pumpkin off. If we have to go, let's go. Why are you wearing that thing? I didn't wait for him to reply. I grabbed the pumpkin with both hands and pulled it off his shoulders. Liz screamed first, a shrill scream of horror. Opened my mouth to scream, but no sound came out. I still had the pumpkin. I stared at Mike's shoulders. No head on his shoulders, and then my stomach lurching. Chill after chill, making my whole body shudder. I had to turn away. The pumpkin fell from my hands and rolled up against a long, slender vine. I stared at the vine, followed to the end, and I saw my brother's head, Mike's head sprouting from the end of the vine. His dark eyes stared up at me, his mouth opened and closed as if it was trying to speak. His head quivered and then bounced hard. He was trying to stab itself loose, but it was attached, growing from the vine. Oh, a moan of horror escaped my throat. I couldn't speak or breathe or move. My brother, my poor brother. And then I saw the others, human heads, boys and girls, heads staring up at me from the ground, mouths opening and closing silently, begging for help. Dozens of humans, heads all sprouting from vines. Now I knew what had happened to all those other kids who had disappeared last Halloween and the Halloween before. As I stared at the hideous heads, I felt strong, thick vines stretching over my shoes and my ankles. Saw the vines leaching up off the ground, twisting around Liz, wrapping her up, pulling her down. I felt the vines tightening around my waist, around my chest, but I couldn't move. Even when Mr. Palmer appeared, I couldn't move. I saw the smile on his orange, bearded face. I saw the deep, black, empty eyes. Watched him kneel down beside Mike's head on the vine. Cold, wet vine wrapped around my throat, tighter and tighter, but I couldn't cry out. I couldn't move. Still grinning, Mr. Palmer spread his finger over the top of Mike's head and squeezed. Not quite right, he said, but getting there. Oh my god. That took forever, holy shit. Well, I hope that my reading wasn't too bad for you guys. I'm probably gonna start reading more because I'm kind of bad at it and I want to get better. But yeah, let me know if you guys want more of this. I want to like go outside or something, bro. I've been inside like for a couple hours, so just want to go outside. I got a bit of a headache from that, but oh my gosh, I haven't read in so long. That's cool. I'm gonna start reading. I'm gonna start reading more for you guys because I want to. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I almost stopped reading like halfway through because I was like, on like page 9, I was like, bro, like, I can't do this. Like, I was like, I'm too bad at reading. Like, I felt embarrassed and shit. But you live and you learn. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna try to be uploading more. Don't expect one tomorrow. Don't expect one the next day. But maybe next week, like Monday, Tuesday type shit. Probably gonna go to the beach again today. I kind of want to. Let's go to the beach today. Just like a move, but oh guys, that was stressful. But yeah, I mean, I hope you guys get some good sleep. I really want to say thank you guys so much for 600 subs. Like, it means a lot. I do think about it. I look almost every day to see how many subs I get. So hope you guys can enjoy this video and listen to something nice for you guys. You know, because I haven't been uploading for a while. So hopefully you guys can just watch this maybe in parts, and you can expect another video next week. I'm not gonna wait 2 weeks again. I promise you guys that. It will only be 1 week at the longest this time. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I hope you guys have